Hello, Kaiko here, and welcome to the Chaos. Let's go! That's on the second bout. We will now move to the third bout. Duelists, please step forwards. I'm ready. So am I. This is the final stage of the rite. I remind you both that the terms you agreed upon in advance are binding. When you're both ready, you may begin. I'm Sethos, the vessel of Hermanubis, grandson of Balmon, the leader of the Temple of Silence. For many years we have kept our covenant with Lord Hermanubis by guarding the secrets of King Dashut, and even in our darkest hour we could not see a way forward. We chose not to abandon hope, but to embark on a brave new experiment so that we might prevail. We earnestly sought Lord Hermanubis' wisdom and power, longing to see his spirit and his light descend upon us. Now I will fight to become the rightful wielder of that power. I am Cyno, General Mahamatra of the Academia, student and successor of Cyrus the Sage's Spartaman. I fight in defense of my power, my professor, and my nation. And you, I think you left some things unsaid. This is a sacred duel, and Hermanubis is watching, so bear your soul. Everyone old and young, fit and frail, they're all waiting to see how this duel will end. My grandfather is a wise leader. He is known to be a ruler who is not afraid to get blood in his hands. I understand his beliefs well, and I know what he expects of me. But our faith has held back for too long. After I grew up, I went to the rainforest once, and I saw for myself the people of the city. Times have changed. The people of Sumeru are happier and more free now than in the past. I thought about this as I stood at one of the tallest points of the city, gazing down on the streets below. Then I thought about you, Cyno. You and I both wield the same power, yet the lives we lead could not be more different. Each bar fragment of Hermanubis stands for something different: might, glory, or one of many other secrets that have yet to be revealed. I once thought the nature of our fragments must be what makes us so different from one another, but maybe it's that you found your answer and I'm still searching for mine. I am more than just a warrior, I am my own person. Exactly. The name Hermanubis has left its mark on both of us, shaped the course of our lives. We are his vessels, and yet we are more beside. So show me your answer, Cyno. Show me I can be more than my faith, more than the power I will. Show me the person I can become. Bring it on. Oh, it's a cutscene. Well, that's so weird. We didn't get to, be Cyno. We did get to be Tignari.
That's all you've got? What happened is searching for your answer. Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well then, looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Ahmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tynarian priests and led them to the city of Tule-Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tule-Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tynarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tule-Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our Lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet, we were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tule-Tula Tynarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tule-Tula fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
What I have learned from this is that I have been saying these names incredibly incorrectly, or they're saying it incorrectly, because I'm pretty sure Tignari should be Tignari and not Tynari, but they kept talking about the Tynarians, and I'm like, is that just the same? Is Tignari named after a group of people? Because that's his name. But then, like, Tynari. But then, like, the Tynarians. I don't know. I don't know if you like Tignari is supposed to be telling me I'm saying it wrong or like I'm saying it right. I don't know. And then also, like, I've been calling him Hermanubis or something, and they were like, Hermanubis. So I don't know. But I'm so confused. Anyway, how is it? Do you feel okay? Grandfather. You, Tethos, and the other members of the temple bid farewell to Balmon. In the great hall, people gather around the coffin to pay their respects. The atmosphere is solemn. Hey, Tethos, you'll get through this. I know, I'll miss him. I'm so sorry for your loss. I guess you were prepared for this. It's been a long time coming, huh? Yeah, he's been on death's door for a long time now. I think it was only through sheer willpower he managed to hold on to this point. At least he was able to see this chapter come to a close before he passed. What's next for you? Per my grandfather's auspicious, the Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number of Hermanubis' fragments. That entitles you to be our new leader, Cyno. That is never going to work, as I'm sure you've realized, I'm the General Mahamatra, and ended back at the Academia. I did foresee this possibility, and I gave it some thought. The fact is, I know next to nothing about the staff, records, and environment here. As such, I am ill-suited to be your leader. Tethos, I believe the honor should go to you. Were not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions, the bar fragments would most likely be in your hands by now. I'm sure Balmon never meant for anyone but you to be his successor. You really think so? I do. Still, I didn't think Balmon looked very surprised by the final result. Perhaps he had an inkling that this would be the way things ended. Well, in any case, as the bar fragments aren't with me now, I guess I can call the shots. Tethos, I would like you to succeed Balmon as the new leader of the Temple of Silence. You're more suited to the role than I, and I have complete faith you will be an excellent leader. Just think of it as doing me a favour. Doesn't that render everything we've been through up to now meaningless? No, it doesn't. This experience has allowed us to become friends, which means the Academia and the Temple of Silence will become partners once more. That's a much bigger deal than you might think. Tethos, you said yourself, times have changed. You have to believe that things could change for the better here at the Temple too. I will try. To be honest, I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Actually, part of me wonders whether Balmon's intention from the very beginning was just to create enough pressure to force us towards a duel. That way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender our bar fragment and the power of Hermanubis would be concentrated in one single person. Had you won, the Temple of Silence would have doubled its strength. And were I to win, he correctly anticipated I wouldn't suddenly drop everything to become the leader of the temple, much less integrate the temple into the Academia by force. He knew the temple's future would depend not just on the guidance of Hermanubis, but the support of the Academia too, so he made it his responsibility to ensure his success would be free from the burdens of the past. His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him, they would have an easier time interacting with the Academia. With one single letter, he lured out the professor. No matter what happened after that, it would result in a net benefit for the temple. And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these trivial details. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I considered this from every angle. We had to find a way to mend our relationships with the Academia. In that sense, the right of duels was just a means to an end. Thank you for everything, Cyno. As a gesture of our gratitude to those that you and us little Kusanali deem worthy, I will grant the honour of access to the Temple of Silence for their pursuit of knowledge. The Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Dash's civilizations, more than any other organisation in existence today. In times you need information that only we can provide, we will be here to support you. But you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates, lest you lead humanity to repeat the same mistakes. By the way, okay, it seems like Shadowpeter sent me a voice note for this name, so let me listen to that first, so I don't say it wrong for like the 100th time. I was so sure I was right, but I forget what my source was. We'll have to... Okay, this sounds very familiar. So I think Child of Peace has found the same source they found last time, which is it's something like Tichnari, except me and my accents do not work well together, which is how we ended up with Tignari, because I kept saying it wrong and Tignari was closer to like correct. So, you know, I think we carry it on. Yeah, exactly! This is exactly what happened last time. You did exactly the same thing. You told me it was like Tichnari, and then I said it wrong, and then we stuck with Tignari. Something like that, I think. So yeah, what a throwback. We did this, I think, when we were doing Windbloom, which was like, I don't know, 3.7-ish? But we did this. We did this already. I knew it wasn't Tainari. I remember that much. But yeah, so then I was, I don't understand. So yeah. But like, is he named after this group of people? Is this a coincidence? Is this not supposed to be this? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the same name. Who knows? Anyway, by the way, Shinari and my grandfather were so happy to see you. You are a descendant of the Valka Shuna, and we are the heirs to the will of Hermanubis. The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis from among the Tignarians and appointed him as his familiar. That is so weird to see, like, Tignaria, you were the, of the Tignar- oh, that's so weird! He went on to fight many valiant battles with his Tignarian companions. They always stood by each other, from the founding of the Temple of Science to the fall of Chilitula. The Tignarians who left Chilitula joined their human counterparts in the rainforest. A few centuries later, when some of the group returned to the desert, many of the Tignarians chose to stay and put down roots in the rainforest. In all likelihood, those were your ancestors. How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after... It was on purpose! Once mentioned that I was named after the Tignarians, but I never... wait, no, let me try this again. Tignarians, but I never heard that my forebears had such a history with the Temple of Silence. I like this story. By the way, has anyone seen Cyrus? Ah yes, Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room. He wouldn't show it in front of me, but I think he still has many fond memories of my grandfather. If it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this way, then I guess he didn't really resent Cyrus as much as he appeared to. Who knows, perhaps all of us, you and me and Cyrus, were all just pawns in my grandfather's plan to set things straight. He was awful like that. Someone's got to make the decisions when history is at a crossroads. I'll make a detailed report on all of this to Lesser Lord Kusanali and arrange for an official delegation from the Academia to come and meet you in the desert. I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead, but once things return to normal, please come and visit the rainforest again. You should stay for a few days this time and start to build some relationships. If we're going to work together, both sides have to get to know one another better. I will. Alright, well, bye for now everyone, I'll be seeing you. See you soon, come hang out with us anytime. Best of luck to you, Cephos. Okay, return to the Academia. I wondered if this was a ploy, so that now when they release Cephos, he doesn't have to have the same powers as Cyno, because he doesn't have them anymore. Grandfather, we did it, we achieved things, we achieved what we set out to do. From this day on, the Temple of Science has the chance to work with the Academia once more. Real change, real opportunities, they are now within our grasp. You see, Grandfather, Cyno chose me to succeed you as the leader of the Temple of Science. I will now serve in his stead. Okay, I guess we gotta go to the Academia. And I guess we gotta go and talk to... We left Arhytham and Carver just like in there. So maybe we should go and talk to them. Just see if they're doing okay. 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 In we go. Let's go have a look. Are we gonna go talk to Nahida? Is Nahida gonna make a show? An appearance, not a show. What were you thinking, gallivanting off into the desert alone at your age? What if you kicked the bucket, You told not a soul what you're up to, designated nobody to handle your affairs, and left everyone scrambling frantically to try and figure out how on earth to clean up the colossal mess you'd made. Oh, please, will you stop yelling? What other choice did I have? What do you mean, what other choice? Do you mean to tell me that after all your years of learning and sagehood, no less, the only idea you could come up with in that white-haired walnut of yours was to shoot off into the unknown like some hot-headed 20-year-old adventurer? A one-man suicide mission, That's the best idea that one of the finest minds of a generation could come up with, is it? It astounds me that you survived the journey and you're lucky that Balmond didn't finish you off when you arrived. Alright. Honestly, the way you're going off on me, it's like you wish you'd been there to lend him a hand. Does it mean nothing to you that I'm your colleague and former classmate? Phew. I've got nothing more to say. What's the point of berating an old bag of bones? What do you mean, bag of bones? I'm a flesh and blood hero who, despite his old age, saved our General Mahamat from being stripped of his powers. Okay, look. Fine, I admit I was in the wrong. How can I make it up to you? What about a month's work at the Academia? 1 month? Try 3! Martino's master is relaying into Cyrus. Oh, let's give them a wide berth. Yeah, we're too young to get involved. Professor brought this on himself. Don't pay any attention to him. Why I haven't seen Master get this riled up in a long time. The last time you choose someone out like this must have been back when I was still a student. I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them the situation's resolved. Want to come with me? You can go for dinner afterwards, my treat. You in? Makes sense, I'm in. Free food is free food. Always happy to help. Pamat's coming too, let's go. Okay, you guys okay? You better start packing your things, report for work first thing tomorrow morning. I'll be waiting for you. What about my allowance? Oh, and it's lunch covered. How about dinner? Don't push your luck. Let's not forget who is compensating whom here. A man's gotta eat. Help me figure out something for lunch at least. I'm counting on you. I love it. He's being like forced back into work and he's demanding free lunch. He never thinks he's getting a single day of free labor from me. He's got another thing coming. I should have asked him to come help out at work much earlier. That would have kept him out of trouble and avoided this whole debacle. Okay, wait, where are we going? Where are they? Oh, they're down here. Okay. Wait, Farazan? We're really meeting everyone today. Hey, Kole. Ah, you're back. Oh, well, look who's here. Who we have here? Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on these past few days? I heard you all ran out into the desert and got embroiled in a major catastrophe. All taken care of. That does not answer my question. How could you be so careless? That goes for you as well. Yes, and you too. When you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know? I've been around the block. Don't you think I would have made sense to involve me? Let's not forget, I know the desert like the back of my hand. Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue with Farazan. You're right. It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing. But either, you need to learn there are times when the thing to do is to get a more experienced member of staff involved. Do I make myself clear? Because if you don't, Clay, please do something. Oh, he tried to, like, summon her. Ah, he's giving me the signal. Right, guess it's time to play my ace in the hole. Saying Madam Farazan, I can see you're pretty upset, but I was just wondering, remember that time you offered to give me a tour of the academia? Does that offer still stand? Huh? Ah, wait, did I hear that right? Kole, you remember! Wonderful! Well, of course the offer still stands. Come on, Madam Farazan will show you around the old classrooms. I can't believe they had a plan for this. Poor Kole getting dragged off like that. Also check out Farazan acting like some sort of official academia tour guide. Kole, cup. Ah, what? Oh, right. What do you mean cup? You need a cup? I can get you a cup? Oh, it's something just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about. Well, that's quite funny, but I'm such a weird. Okay. Seems weird. I feel like that's a secret signal. It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe. Oh, Dinari and I used it while we were in school, and it's become something of a family tradition now. Family tradition, you say? I see. Oh, that's kind of fun. Two people left. Let's bring them along too. You cannot convince me that is not. They are not a family unit. Where are we going? Follow Cyno, okay. Oh, blank color. Hello, welcome. We are hopefully towards the end of Cyno's story quest. The second one, the new one. We are trying to summon everyone so we can go to the cafe. But yes, hello. Okay. I assume we're gonna find Kave, and I'll hide them somewhere over here. Oh, there's Kave, and I'll hide them. They're both here. Hello. Am I hallucinating, or do I say Kave and I'll hide them engaged in diligent studying? We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look, there's a whole mountain of them. There's no rush, nobody reads these books anyway. My sincere thanks to you both. Yes, with your help, we resolved the issue rather swiftly and painlessly, and the outcome was better than we could have hoped for. Then informs Itham and Kave of everything that happened in the desert. I see the Temple of Science resorted to rather unique means of self-preservation. It explains how they managed to remain hidden for so many years. And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well. I'd love to go check those out if I ever had the chance. The day will come. The Temple of Science is a hugely important organisation, and we'll be sure to maintain good relations with them in the future. Now, as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to treat everyone to coffee. Sounds good? Yeah, sounds great. Although, after the last few days, I don't know if I can handle another coffee, but I can just order something else. Sure, let's go. How much coffee did Kave drink? Like, that's concerning. But anyway, it looks like we're going to the cafe. Do I remember where the cafe is? No, but that's okay. We'll just teleport somewhere. I'm sure we'll make it there eventually. Yep, they were not fighting. That's true. They were just sitting there pretty calmly. Even when we showed up to, trigger the dialogue, they were just sitting there. How surprising. Anyway, we're going to the cafe. We basically met like everybody in Sumeru today. Like everybody. Except we didn't see Nahida. And we didn't see Miyu. And I think that's it. Oh, we didn't see Dori either. I think we saw pretty much everybody else. We saw a lot of people. Or I guess Scaramouche. Does he count as a Subaru person? And then Kaiko just pounced on that opponent and knocked him right out cold. Then there was Junari. He put up an amazing fight too. We ended up winning all 3 bouts. Well, part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but I'd have been biting my nails off worrying about you guys. A truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail, but it has livened up the room all the same. Hey, Pyro included all the juicy details. Kaiko just pounced and then waved their sword like this, and then spun around and blocked. It's like winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position and lead it to him. That's very dignified of you, Cyno. Of course, being dignified comes with being a true champion. I got to be champion too for once, and I've sparred much with desert folk before. It was a pretty unique experience. The venue was pretty impressive too, very ceremonial affair. Yeah, huge place. It felt like something right out of an epic poem. Imagine this. It was like there was... Maybe save that one for later, Paimon. Dessert's here. Everyone enjoys each other's company and the General Mahamacha's generosity. The shockwaves left by the Temple of Science gradually fade away. I think that'll do me for today. Shall we stop off at the house of Dana again before heading home? We should probably finish putting all those books back. My thoughts exactly. See you around. I should get going as well. See you all later. Make sure you get some good rest tonight. I need to go say thanks to the Corpse of 30 for the help. Also, Sonafis said he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work processes. So I got a dash too. Claire's come a long way. She's much more confident at dealing with other people these days. Everyone's a work in progress. You never stop learning. Yeah, true. Is that it? Is that it? Maybe. Oh no, okay. Ah, that was so good. Feels like everything's finally wrapped up now. Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a job well done. Also, these desserts Cyno got. They were really good. Paimon definitely needs more of those in the future. Then let's come back again sometime. Do you 3 have anything planned for the rest of the day? If not, would you come somewhere with me? Sure, where are we going? A secret for now. Wouldn't want to spoil the surprise. Okay, I think I can guess what you're talking about. It'll definitely be a nice surprise. Well, now Paimon's curious. Come on, let's go. Okay, where are we going? Ooh. Okay, well I guess we should go that way? Where is it? Is it up high? Oh no, okay, this is... This? This teleport waypoint scares me. We're gonna have to go... Oh, this way. Okay. Ooh! Okay. Been a while since I last made my way up here. Whoa, look at this place, we're so high up. Need any help? Don't underestimate me, I'm actually a tree climbing champion. As you wish. This is a nice spot, isn't it? What a great view, we're so high up you can see for miles. Kaiko? Yeah? Turn around. Ooh. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. This is my secret base, somewhere I only bring my best friends. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time, just to clear my head. I was quite young then and hadn't made too many friends yet. Back then I had a lot of the same questions that Sethos was asking. Who am I? Why do I have this power? And what should I be fighting for? Our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world. That was my experience, and I'm sure Sethos will figure things out in his own time. As long as Hermanubis' power endures, you will remain inextricably linked to the Temple of Silence. These two really are like brothers. I feel the same way. You're one tough cookie, Cyno. You're a true champion now. Of course, I see no need to be humble when it comes to the facts. I still remember one time when he came here to chat and do our homework. Cyno accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily, he has fast reflexes, so he caught it just in time. That was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip through my fingers again. Those are good times. I kind of miss the student life. You know, Paimon really shouldn't be able to imagine Cyno doing something like that, but for some reason, the mental image is coming through clear as day. Then make it stop. There's somebody there. It's Professor Cyrus. You guys carry on without me, I'll be right back. Please don't jump off the branch. Okay. He jumped off the branch. Now, hey, you're not supposed to jump down, be careful! To be fair, I would also have jumped off the branch. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, no time. Hello. Oh my days, I can't believe how stupid I look in this one. Professor, what are you muttering to yourself about? Cyno, just the man I'm looking for. Guess what I found in some old notebooks? Some old photos? Is that baby Cyno? Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the sage's office. I must have forgotten to take it with me, and no one such as since. It was still right there. I was at the academia early to discuss my workload with Nafis. I swung by the old office to have a look around and just happened across it. How time flies. Look how tiny you are in this picture, still a kid. You look quite young yourself in that one. Ah, is this one? I remember that. Lisa took it, didn't she? Yep, looks like her work, alright. Who else could have found just the right angles to make me look unbelievably hideous? And this one looks like we're both dozing off. Ah, cheeky girl, taking secret photos of us without our knowledge. Is this something you'd like to say to me, Professor? Like what? Like, these are good photos, aren't they? Hey, at a moment like this, I hardly know where to begin. I can't pretend I'm a good person. That one has every reason to despise me. And, well, so do you, if you feel the same way. Don't be ridiculous, you old codger. Is that not what you want? Is that not what you wanted me to say? I dreamed of that place many times after leaving the desert. Sometimes I dreamed that I was doing research with them again. And sometimes I dreamed of the day they saved my life. It was one of the happiest times of my life. We all learned so much from one another. You've matured so much over the years, Cyno. As you're my professor, I just saved you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you just gave, so I will do the right thing and keep my mouth shut. Good thinking. Take your own advice next time. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? I thought heroes were supposed to be gracious. Hey, wait, how did I not notice this one earlier? Lisa strikes again. Just how many did she take? Look how cute you were when you were little. I remember how well-mannered you were back then, too. Yeah, look how serious and professional you used to be. Oh, I can't compete with you anymore. First you get better than me at the deadpan jokes, and now you're besting me at those little quips, too. Don't say that. I still have a lot of respect for you. That's more like it. Hey, would you have... what would you say to meeting up with Lisa again sometime? I'd like that. Let's find a time and pay her a visit in Mondstadt. Alright, I'll enter my schedule. Let's go next week. Wait, no, next week is the tomato growing competition. I have to go. I have got to beat Zaha Hadid. Or you could find a real hobby professor. No, I think his tomato growing is iconic. Let this man grow his tomatoes in peace. But also, I think that's done. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. But we did it. Hello. Time's passed too quickly. The children will have all grown up. But it turns out grown-up kids are no use. When Nafis comes after me, Cyno still can't do anything to protect me. That boy. Why not talking to Cyno? Great view today. This atmosphere calls for a joke out of left field to catch the listener unawares. Oh dear. Joke. How do I make this a joke? I can't treat my students like kids anymore, I have to admit. Cyno has matured far beyond my expectations. I kind of want to know if Tignari and... What else was there? Oh, from now on... Wait, go back. I didn't read all of Cyno's thing. Not Cyno, Cyrus. Yeah, he said 2 things. Oh, from now on, I'll just enjoy life as a retired sage. The future's safe in the hands of the younger generation. But I want to know if Tignari is still, like, up the tree. Because that's where we were. You know, before we got a bit distracted. Well, no, before Cyno jumped off the cliff. So now I want to know if he's still up there. Can we still talk to him? I don't want to trigger a quest though. No, I triggered the quest. I was trying to avoid this. Okay, now I guess I'm reading this now. Whoops. Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling the missing kimono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If I only knew where to find the traveller. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about. This is one of those Archon quests, side quests that I've been ignoring. Okay, looking for me? Oh, you're the traveller, you say? Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us. If you don't believe me, I'll go. No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started examining the evidence. Sorry. So what for the love of... sorry we don't get out much, so our social skills are kind of lacking. However, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to help tell us about Tatarasuna? Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more. I see. Sorry, I can't help this time. He just chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumas don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that? If you don't mind, I'll show you all of my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna. Hold on, Sawada, don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read? At that point, in that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft. Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into fire to destroy it, and it killed his servant, Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the sword maker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kimono. It seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger. Someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way. That's right, Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kimono lived in Tatarasuna for quite a while before disappearing without a trace, and shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly. The first strange person goes missing, then a murder happens. Seems kind of fishy to Paimon. Yes, my thoughts exactly, so I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then, and wow, did I get lucky. Stop shouting! This part's important, I just wanted to make it stand out. So it happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me and can now confirm all the aforementioned individuals did in fact live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already on the centre of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too. Could it be? Wait, so there were 2 missing people in this story now? That's right, what's more, Niwa is the name of a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma? But the swordsmiths, yeah, like Ishin, Art, and so on. Well, yes, you really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative to the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishinat. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around the time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow. Kaidahara clan? And so you left out the biggest detail of all. There's more? Oh yes, of course, how could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gentlemen, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I won't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most... Get to the point, for Pete's sake. According to the information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kimono was not a human, but a puppet! I think I found the Scaramouche quest! A puppet? The Shogun puppet the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. The kimono has to be the balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna? Judging by its new faces, you do know something after all. Glare at Paimon, hope she keeps her mouth shut. Paimon! I know, Paimon just meant how creepy. The way you describe it makes it sound like a ghost story. I agree, it does, but considering that non-human races in Amasama are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please take a look. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm not sure we're going to make it to boss time. Author Sawara, Extract 1. A man arrived in Tatrasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied labourers walking along the mountain roads towards the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from its gems beyond price. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable. Beyond a mere description for those not present to witness it, the man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. "Do my eyes deceive me, Sir Miyazaki? I cannot think the return trip here from Inazuma City could have been easy on you." Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey, expression relaxed. "I, Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the faster ships, rode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? And what about the good news?" There were some, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter, Raph housing with the other workers until the path's end. A young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. Now the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too, then, was the flame watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deep within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the office did the watcher turn. This watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tatrasuna. Born to the Niwa clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishinat, Niwa never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted the expression and said, "It's as you have heard, sir. The elders of your clan and city do not think highly of our plan. Yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested." Niwa studied the text and nodded. "We should try some of these new forging techniques whether Kaidahara says yay or nay." Katsuragi frowned, and with a sigh he said, "Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. Ah, should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the soreness in his face shall be hard to miss." Niwa smiled, replying, "And how goes the forging of our lord's great blade, Katsuragi?" Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his 2 friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so groused, "I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are as nothing before you." Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm, but just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peeked in was round, and in the light of the fires it looked like an oiled jewel. The young man placed some box food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it?" The young man, upon hearing these words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while he answered, "Very well, I'll try it. You're welcome to the food. We all eat that same fare, after all," Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Oh, this is long. This is the Scar quest. Oh, and thank you for my shitty reminder. Oh, and there's a hydrate! Let me have some water before I continue reading this really long passage. I am hydrated. Okay. Extract 2! The Kappa Kimono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place the thunderclouds roil, grumbling the oceans of an oncoming storm. Darkness filled the flash of the sea, and the dust thus bid the clouds to kneel upon the land, its supplication mirroring the Kappa Kimono. With knees bent and face pointed towards the waters, none passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kappa Kimono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood this cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist unspooled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly he exclaimed, "It is but dusk, how have my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides?" Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kappa Kimono stood idle, planting his head to study the ground. Wreck. Naught but half an arm was left on the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop it landed at the Kappa Kimono's feet. He crouched and better studied the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. What? What are the biting? Oh, okay. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The copper kimono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the copper kimono. Extract 3. Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord, things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there is no trace of him, and much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he's yet to send us on any missive. Look." Mikoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy laden. "I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return." Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's broad-stiff shoulders. Beyond the windows, the clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather, and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatrasuna whole. Over 10 people have already perished. That was why Katsuragi recalled as it struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now in dribs and drabs. That was why they had set out to seek aid. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then. Travelling from Tatrasuna to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth, till the Kakibukimono himself had departed upon the tides. Under foul skies and ominous fortunes, it had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tatrasuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone, and none could find him. Afterward, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and then they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew ever more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself trained against his discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly, a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil that Truda wore. For a moment they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. "Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps?" Nagamasa bellowed in fury. "You dare address Sir Niwa directly?" Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach, but not beyond sight, a ghastly apparition indeed. Was it you who slew my people?" Nagamasa howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As sense returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. Seems the rest of this work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it's apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colourful sensibilities, born from an imagination well utilised. And please read my essay draft as well. Oh my gosh, there's even more reading. This is fine. We can't not read it though, because then I'll never read it again. A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Tatrasuna area. Details. This text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Vahamanas Veil Cutter Project. It has yet to be numbered. Author, Akaba. Abstract. The Tatrasuna area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithing industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might be a hidden history behind the events that transpired here, hence the paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. Glossary. Tatrasuna area riding Gokaden, Mikoshi Nagamasa, Kabakimono. Introduction. This paper continues and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, in his report on the happily hidden tales of Tatrasuna, and is intended to further this avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electric Archon, also known as the Right Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from their Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steady nature of metalwork yet linger about Tatrasuna, which was a central pillar of the forging industry. There, the Mikoshi and Niwa clans, along with an eccentric puppet, serve as the 3 windows of insight that we need to investigate the truth behind what happened. 40. Strange notes from Tatrasuna era. Their contents are as follows. Perhaps I overstep, but I think that Sir Nagamasa's mood grows better when he forges blades. Possession to cleanse the stain of the name, Mikoshi must eat at it. Also, Sir Katsuragi discovered a nameless eccentric while patrolling around Nazuki Beach. Inspector brought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the Vice Armory Officer. We had last made a single Nagamaki. We call it the Dayatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits, and he and the Vice Armory Officer Nozume was so taken by the beauty of the Dayatara Nagamasa that he drew a picture of it, and he performed a sword dance with that wandering eccentric. And we couldn't find the eccentric. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own Nagamaki into the furnace's flames. Nozume could not abide by that order and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. Nozume died that night, I dare say, while Sir Katsuragi may have committed malfeasance. It was out of the goodness of his heart. Jinro hid the Nagamaki and Nozu's drawing in the arsenal. Nagamasa is harsh but also knows right from wrong, but even so, he is not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I and some households of Tantrasuna have yet not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother Chiyo, and we trust it. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating the Daitara Nagamasa with him, and the joy of watching that nameless eccentric reform that sword dance with Katsuragi. Is that the funky blade from the Kazuha quest? So Typhon, I beg to disagree. This letter takes a while. Paimon! Do I even know how to do that? Fine, you can have... I was gonna say you could have part 7, but part 7 just goes on. Okay, no, I think part 7 is only this bit. Oh no. Yeah, I think this is just part 7. That's still a really long sentence though. I'm not, the rest of it seems to be, this is like a second section. Like, this is the notes, something else. I'm not reading the whole thing. Okay. Aka, you did it smartly. You were quite clever with this. Okay. I don't remember how to do the Paimon voice. Okay, we'll just go really high pitch and hope for the best. Why did you make me do this? I don't want to do this. Okay. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts. One for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one to be left in Tartarasuna itself to prevent theft. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found, so I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within treasure chest in Tartarasuna. There we go. Oh gosh. Okay, the 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Tartarasuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, although they look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, though the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other, as the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. Ruby once mentioned the happily hidden tales of Tartarasuna, hereby known as Hidden Tales, that in the past researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tartarasuna and Inazuma. Though the place has fallen to some degree of disrepair since the Hidden Tales were written, things have improved since the time when I wrote my original article. Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains a place most inhospitable, and residents of Tartarasuna may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents when questioned told the researchers of Tartarasuna's golden age centuries ago, when it was administered by Armory Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. Yet the others among the locals with deeper ties to the region also seemed to stress the fact that there were strange rumors surrounding their homeland's past. Yeah, it was more like Minnie Mouse, but I tried my best. Oh dear. Okay, Great many extremists evolved around the yokai, who was so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A very small number, however, mentioned the word puppet. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. The puppet did not once appear in Tartarasuna. Its visage was elegant. Oh, did once appear. Elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint limbs on its body. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seemed to possess special joint lines that would fade with time, potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. The name of the puppet was known to almost none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it out appearing around Tartarasuna, while others mentioned encountering it in the central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach. Tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters towards Inazuma City. What it was the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which can also be read as kabakimono, is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in a peculiar manner. It is understandable, therefore, why this character would have left such an impression. Should the people of Tartarasuna indeed have had a puppet in their midst, incurring mass panic, good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large, the puppet would have very likely become a local resident. What is less known is if the kabakimono was just another title for this puppet. Perhaps because it was uniquely dressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics, a workable theory, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it can be retained as an analytical lens of sorts. A list of individuals related to Tadrasuna have been compiled here, based on historical documents for Inazuma. Starting from the administrators, the records are as follows. Armory Officer. Niwa. Full name Niwa Shahid. He was Hisahide. Probably. He was the inheritor of the Ishin art and successor of the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Ukami and Kaidahara clans, were together known as the Ishin Hansaku. Records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talent in the administration of the territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but he was suspected to have left Tadrasuna with his family following the incident. Vice Army Officer Miyazaki. Full name Miyazaki Kanio. He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown, and he primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personal management. He was of affable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Mikoshi Nagamasa. Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa, the successor of the Mikoshi clan, adopted son to Oni warrior Mikoshi Chiyo, and the younger adopted brother to Mikoshi Michiro, also known as Ukara the successor. With his mother missing and abandoned by his brother, Nagamasa alone bore the family name, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. Though records state that Mikoshi Nagamasa was a stubborn figure, he was also noted to be a person of moral virtue and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation, and specially requested special instruction from Miyazaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade later Nagamasa was forged, he used it to slay his subordinate Katsuragi, for reasons unknown at present. Subordinate Katsuragi. Katsuragi's full name and background remain unknown. Despite all the materials I have sorted through, I have yet to find anyone additional personnel records regarding him. As one of Mikoshi Nagamasa's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth, but then only swore to stick by his sword through thick and thin and give his life in service if it was asked of him. Kappa Kimono. Full name unknown. Background unknown. From the many sources I have compiled, combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character might have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. The Kappa Kimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness. According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tadrasuna by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kappa Kimono first arrived in Tadrasuna, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any work of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that Kappa Kimono was there when the Daitara Nagamasa was forged, though his trial ends before Mikoshi Nagamasa slew Katsuragi. His trail ends. I believe the Kappa Kimono was indeed the aforementioned puppet, and he quite likely had a hand in Katsuragi's death. It seems the rest of the paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure though, a lot of thought was put into it. Okay. Swallow was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounding in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. How about it if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue, like I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events? Wait, you're not just make stuff up? Pretty sure we've gone from essay to guessay hit there. From essay to guessay! Sounds more like a novel. Has this guy even written an essay before? Akaba, look, your teacher has researched this extensively. I have reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much useful as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth? Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some more time. I just think find a new angle on this. I'll leave you to it. I have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay. Alright, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much. Oh, another hydrate. Let me drink some water. Is that thing they were talking about? It has to do with the Balladeer, doesn't it? Yes. Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If that's Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in... Oh, and now it's the Balladeer. I was really hoping we would be done, but no. What's wrong? Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by over there. He looked like... I guess we're not finding Tignari? The Balladeer. No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Quick, let's catch up and see. I don't want to go that way because I just wanted to see if Tignari was nearby. He's probably not now because he triggered this other quest. Okay, please let me go over here without triggering the quest. Okay, I don't think he's there. He's not there. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you'd like to see me play live, then check out my Twitch channel. You can find me on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 PM GMT. Thanks again, and have a great day.